All right, thanks. Okay, we finally figured that out. So we had to get everything set up. I apologize for a little late. Um, my name's Deborah, and I am going to talk to you today about our financial empowerment program here at the WCA. The financial empowerment program started in 2010 with a grant, a special grant that was written, and um, the focus of it was the empowerment, just those individuals reaching out for services. We found that a large percentage, probably 97, 98% of those reaching out for services here at the WCA, they were dealing with financial abuse, economic abuse, at the same time as they were dealing with the physical or sexual or emotional abuse. And oftentimes the financial abuse is what keeps an individual in a relationship. How are they going to be able to gain that independence and get out on their own when the finances, they have families to take care of, and not having access to their financial resources, credit, things like that. And so that's the reason that we started the financial empowerment program. And so my notes here, make sure that I cover everything. I've been with the program a little over 7 years, and the classes, there's a couple of things we're doing now. We have a class that individuals can attend, and they receive a certificate. And then we also have workshops that we offer both here and out in the community, and work with youth, teens, and adults. With the classes, there are two sections. Class 1 covers Unit 1 and 2. Unit 1 is financial empowerment, talking about signs of economic abuse, a little bit about an individual's background, experiences with finances, and then setting goals. And the Unit 2 covers budgeting, so how to track your income, how to track your expenses, how to make sure that you have some type of way to manage your expenses each month. So that could be a budget that you upload to your phone or computer. You could have it in a notebook. Sometimes people have it in a notebook and they have it on the computer. You could do that with Google Sheets or Excel. There's a lot of really great resources out there, and many free resources. An important component of the financial empowerment program here is it's important to provide free resources and free information through our grants. There's nothing wrong with going out and paying for a budgeting class or a credit class, anything like that. The more information you have, the better. I think that's great. But it's really important when individuals are first starting out that they're able to easily access information. And so that's why all the resources that I use are free and are easily acceptable to anyone, not just individuals who come and complete the classes here at the WCA. It's for just the general public. It's really great resource sites. And so the Unit 1, like I said, Class 1 is the empowerment and economic abuse, and then budgeting. And then with Class 2, we talk about credit and how to pull a credit report. And then once you've pulled that credit report, how to go through your credit report and identify potential barriers that could affect not only housing, which is what many of our clients are dealing with, trying to get into safe housing, but it could also be identifying barriers on your credit report that could interfere with you just establishing credit in general, being able to turn on utilities in your own name, being able to qualify for an installment loan, and being able to open a bank account. We need credit for so many things in life. It could even be insurance. So it's how much of a premium are you going to pay on your insurance based on what's on your credit report. So the credit component is really important. So looking at the credit report, helping them to identify information on the credit report, helping them come up with a plan of action, setting some goals to work on addressing barriers on their credit report, and the ins and outs of trying to work with creditors, set up plans, even if your credit has gone into collections, kind of what your rights and responsibilities are, and how to walk through that. And then also with the credit is alternative credit. Many of our clients that are coming in here and receiving services from us, they either don't have a positive credit experience, or they have had credit in the past and they just got overwhelmed and are needing to start over again. And so their traditional credit report isn't going to be there and available for them to help them with housing and other things. So helping them establish alternative credit and alternative credit portfolio. And that could be your monthly bills that you pay every month, and making copies of those, getting letters from those companies that you make those payments to, because they don't normally go on a traditional credit report, but you may need to use those alternative types of credits when you're out there looking for housing and other things. So that's another component of the credit unit that we cover. And then the final unit is saving and financial institutions. And so helping them walk through what they want in a financial institution, what are those resources that they're looking for, what are those services that a commercial bank or a credit union might offer that's going to make their experience positive. And so we talk through that, and then different ways to save. And it could just be starting out with a simple piggy bank. You know, it's something it's so important to save something, and we talk about that, even if it's $5 or $10 each time that they get paid. And then building up from that point and getting to a point that you can save for an emergency fund, and then eventually being able to pay up your bills a couple months in advance. So if something was to happen, life gets in the way, certainly things that we've experienced over the past several months, that there was something that was there, a cushion that was there to be able to fall back on. And so just talking through the different ways that we can save. And we don't get a lot into investments. We do talk about, because it is a way to save, being able to put into your 401k if that's an option for you at your job, talking about individual retirement accounts that they can get through their bank or credit union and other places. There's a lot of those resources that I would offer them as well. And so once they've finished those 2 classes, those 4 units, they receive a certificate of completion, and that certificate entitles them to financial coaching with me going forward, as many times as they need to work with me for as often as they need to work for me, you know, going forward. I have one client that has been meeting with me since she finished my class in 2016, end of October, so about this time, 2016. And when she first started meeting with me, it was once a week. And that's just the place that she was at in her life, and just really needed that guidance, that assistance. And then eventually, once she was able to get things on track on her own, we started meeting once a month. And then eventually that led to once a quarter, you know, once every 3 months. And even when she comes in and meets with me, she's already has her great plan down. She's already, you know, put her budget together. She's paying her bills. She's paying down her debt. It's almost paid. She's reestablished her credit in a positive way, but she just likes to check in with me just to let me know how she's doing. So that's great to see. And others, once they've been able to reestablish things and maybe alternative credit or clean up some things on their credit report, and they've been able to move back into their housing, maybe that's all they need. Maybe someone just needs to come and see me once. It really depends. Each individual situation is different, not one size fits all, and those options are available to them. And so that's great. It's a really great opportunity for them. And in my position, I'm a coach, I'm not an advisor, and I let them know that ahead of time. So an advisor, you would pay and they would, walk you through what they think is best for your situation. Our program is about financial empowerment. So it is helping guide them and walk through the pros and cons. And then that individual is going to make the final choice of which direction they want to move. That's where the empowerment piece comes in, being able to advocate for yourself. That's really important to me. And so I'm not going to tell them what to do. I'm going to walk them through the pros and cons of each. I might strongly encourage just different ways to look at situations, but in the end, it's them deciding for themselves which direction to go. And so it's really great when I'm able to see what they've been able to do and experience, and being able to build that sense of independence back. Um, in addition to the classes that I offer, I also offer workshops. And the workshops that I offer tend to be mainly focused around credit. Even though I can do other types of workshop, credit just is such a big barrier. It can work really well for you if you have that positive credit established, but it can also interfere with you being able to um, move on with your life if you don't have it. And so I've just recently, the past year, have been working with the veterans group at LADA. So that's been a really great experience for me. And I've been able to go in and work with their all-day program when they're talking about housing, and I can talk with them about the alternative credit and just talking them through the ins and outs of getting their credit report. And it's really great making them feel comfortable. I'm a veteran, and so I think that helps um, because people feel uncomfortable anyway with finances and credit, but because I'm coming and I've haven't necessarily experienced their struggles with their housing, but because I'm coming from their experiences of being a veteran, that's been a really nice experience. And so being able to do the workshops there, I'm also able to offer the classes for certificate offsite, and I have a partnership with City Light, so that's really been great to be able to do the classes there with the ladies, and then if they need to, they can come and work with me. I've done some workshops at Interfaith Sanctuary a couple times with the credit, and going and doing workshops with Head Start, with the families at Head Start, and that's been really successful. And Caldwell Saves First initiative, we have been able to do. There's been some things that have put on hold just because of what's going on now. I have done a couple of Zoom classes with City Light, so that's been great. The classes that I do now, I do meet with our residents in person at our shelter. Our community classes are done via Zoom, and that's actually worked really well. I started that immediately once everything happened back in April and put that in place, but I've been able to do the Zoom workshops with LADA, and I've been able to do the Zoom classes with both our clients here at the WCA, and I've also done it over at City Light, and I'm actually going to be doing one this Thursday, so a new one. And in addition, I'm also able to do workshops with the schools, so high schools. And I've done some workshops at Frank Church, the community school there. It's a really great. They come in at lunchtime, and they have pizza, and I've done some budgeting and things with them. I've had a partnership for several years with Marion Pritchett High School for pregnant and parenting teens, and have one coming up with the Zoom. And so hopefully that's able to work well. And, you know, if I'm not able to do a Zoom session with them, I have lots of resources that I can forward, and that they would be able to use, or videos, things like that. Um, the resources that I use when I do the workshops, I could forward them and they could use those resources and be able to do those workshops for them on their own, if that even works better. So just using me as a resource, however you need it, I'm open for that, and open to doing any workshops. And you know, I'll tailor it to meet the needs of whatever audience I'm working with. It's not, once again, one size fits all. It's whatever your group is needing information about, and also the knowledge level, the literacy level. I could work with levels, and even if adults and they're not really at a high literacy level, I can tailor it to meet their needs too. So pretty flexible with that. Um, let's see. And then with the young ones, the youth, I've worked with Girl Scouts and the Brownies, and we have worked on saving and wants and needs, and helping them work with their financial empowerment curriculum at work with Girl Scouts. I've had workshops here at the WCA in our club room, and I've had community volunteers come in from banks and different things like that, and the Girl Scouts, they're able to complete workshops and get some of their badges. So I've worked with that in the past. And then with Head Start, sometimes if we are doing activities just with the parents and then the kids are in the daycare, or I've also done the activities where the kids are with their parents, and then we'll have a book. I think it's really important to have a book available. So I'll read the book, I'll talk through it, I'll help them get comfortable with starting those financial conversations, and activities they can do at home and things like that, kind of modeling that for them. So that's another area I'm able to work with. And let's see, our referral process. So the way to get referred, if you're there for the classes for certificate, if they're currently receiving services from our case managers here at the WCA, that will be their first step. Their case managers will refer them. If they're not currently receiving case manager services, then our victim advocates or our clinicians can refer them to the classes. If they're not seeing anyone here yet at the WCA, or maybe they're on one of the waiting lists, but they're interested in seeing if there's an option for the class, then they could contact me directly, or our crisis case manager would refer that information once they've made that initial crisis hotline call. And you could also reach me on our website. So if you go to our website and you click on the tab that says Get Help, and then I think it's the fourth one down, it says Financial Empowerment. That tells you a little bit more about our program, some resources that are out there and available. And then also has a link with my email that'll link directly to my email, or also to my phone number. So that's another way to get a hold of me as well. Let's see. I think that I've covered everything. Hopefully you can see some of my resources. So these resources here are really great. They're Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and it's a consolidated resource that it's really awesome, and they're foldouts and a really good way for them to be able to stay organized. So I really love those resources and what they've done. Of course, our bank's all about savings, so the Save, Spend, Share. There's also the ones Save, Spend, Share, and Invest. And then having them do that, some of the books with questions, lots of resources here. It's full of lots of information. So if there was ever anything that you had a question about, or a resource that you could use more information, then just let me know. And it could be something that you're wanting to use with your kids at home, or a video, a webinar. There's just really great partners that I have. Also, something else is I belong to the Idaho Financial Literacy Coalition. I've worked with them since I started this position, and they are, it's a volunteer program, and we get together once a month or once every other month for member meetings, and once on the even months for our board meetings. But it's just a way to get together and talk about the importance of financial literacy education, K-12, and they have some really great community members from, we have some ladies from the tax commission, from the banks and credit unions, and the Idaho Department of Education, and the CTE program, just a variety of individuals. So that's a great resource too, that I work with. U of I is on that too. And so just lots of resources that I have. So let me look at the questions. Oh yes, Aaron did say that I've given, so I do the workshops or overview for staff at the WCA as well. And I've also done some, I did with Catch, with the managers over at Catch. We did a Zoom interview or a Zoom session, so to give them an overview of what I do with our clients here, because a lot of times our clients are working with Catch as well. And then I also did a Zoom session with the housing specialist at Boise City Ada County Housing, because we also have clients working with them as well. So that way they know the information that they're getting from me in a class setting, and then we can partner together, and we can kind of see how we can work together to make our clients' experience easier. So I think that's it. My first Facebook Live, but I think I got through it okay. And like I said, if any of you have any questions, need any resources, just call here or look on that Get Help on our website, and the link will take you to the Financial Empowerment Program, and I would look forward to providing you with workshops or more information on classes and the resources we have. So you guys have a great day. It was fun talking to you.